I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Now, I wasn't streaming yesterday. We were going to stream, but we had some things we had to work on yesterday, so just the way it goes sometimes. I hope you guys are doing well out there. I think we've got a pretty nice little start to the week, and we're expecting potentially some bullish news and performance this week out of the markets. So we're going to talk about that coming up. Is it's PulseChain's time to shine? I think we've seen a few little user interface upgrades on PulseChain, which has been pretty interesting on like PulseX and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But in any case, don't forget to share the show. Share the show on YouTube, and of course, I'll post the link on X here to share that around as well. Helps with the algorithms. So get out there. Just take a moment to smash the repost button on X and let's get out there and share the good news. Now, obviously, we're going to be talking about the Crypto Night Show has released its number 5. Wow, we're getting up there, eh? Number 5 monster thread, which is pretty cool. That came out yesterday, and our editor-in-chief, MVS, our promotional lead, has put that out yesterday, so pretty cool. And did some extra hard work on that, looking good. And yeah, we're going to explore some of the hot PulseChain news that's in there over the last week. So pretty exciting. And we've also got some incredible teams in there as well on the Monster Thread, showcasing some of their awesome tokenomics. So we're going to check out that and some pretty cool anime as well from the Fallen from the Hog team there. So looking pretty good. Anyway, repost the show out there and get into the chat, make it lively, as we say, and earn some points in the chat. Let's see who we've got here. We've got Hexavator in the house already. Let me just change the view here because apparently we've got a few things we can share there. I think I have to go to top chat, is it? Yeah, top chat maybe. No, in live chat. Thought it was top chat. Anyway, Hexavator, you're number 1 at the moment on the old points. Yeah, you got 50 points, 50 XP. Got to work out what to do with that because it's a pretty cool new feature, at least new to me. So yeah, let's get into it. We got definitely like and share the channel around. Big shout out there for that. And once again, second day in a row, big shout out to Trent again. I'm sure he's having fun. Was it day 2, day 3? I think it's day 3 now. So big shout out to him with his little babies. So looking good. All right, let's get into it. And of course, share the channel. We're going to get into a lot of stuff today. A lot of news and a lot of kind of cool angles that hopefully are exclusive to this channel. Let's get into it without further ado. We got Wookie in house. Wookie is here, never fear. Hey, good to see you, Wookie. Wookie is always behind you. I better keep a lookout for that. Anyway, here we are on X, so don't forget to repost. Now, I did post some stuff out here, a big update on Sun Mini Meal, which we're going to get into shortly, but we're going to do the Monster Thread first. So let's jump down to that. And, of course, let's get into the old Monster Thread. We're going to come down the bottom here and check it out. So if you haven't seen the Monster Thread, here it is here. And we're going to, repost it out there. You can check it out as well. So this is week number 5 from the Crypto Night Show. And, of course, let's scroll down the bottom here and don't forget to repost it out. All right, let's jump right to the back top here. And Monster PulseChain weekly Monster Threads, and it got all the latest news in it. And 1, 2, 3, and let's put that in. Bam. So if you haven't read it, give it a good read. It has got everything that you could possibly imagine that's happened over last week on PulseChain, including some of the really quality DeFi protocols that are around as well. So definitely check that out also. So pretty awesome there. And big shout out to MVS Crypto, editor-in-chief on that. So and did go the extra mile this week for that. So pretty cool. Check it all out. Don't forget to repost and leave comments. Smash the likes on it as well. But let's get into some of the cool stories. I'm not going to read the whole lot because, you guys can read it. And but we got something cool about Richard Hart's workout challenge. So you can definitely check that out. We got Coffee and Emmett find paradise with Crypto Paradise, one of the big teams that have come on to PulseChain. And you can see some of the cool videos there. So big shout out to Crypto Hitman, Crypto Paradise OG, and Crypto Coffee in there. We got Racker Michelle rallies the community. Definitely check that out. Axis Alive highlights potential on the Pulse price. If you love Pulse price predictions, definitely check that out. Sun Mini Meal shines. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. We got Coast free on ramp as well with Old Glory Bank, so check that out too. Heartwood Dogs epic comeback. You got to read that up. That is looking very, very cool. I think it may end up being very synonymous with PulseChain, the old Pulse of the Fallen, as it rises. We got Solid X staking anticipation. Of course, we're very excited about that. And Firewall and Randy Alasky looking good there. Internet money breaking records, of course. That is huge. Check that out. Those numbers are massive. So big shout out to KG out there. FTX Fund sparks debate. Of course, Brandon, formerly Rags to Riches, talking about the impact of those funds on the crypto market. We got some cool artwork and, of course, DJs in the house. Dr. Mr. Lefty. You got to check out his epic sets there. So we've got DJ Cryptomatic, and now we've got DJ Mr. Lefty. Both of them doing DJing, but quite different music. I think Mr. Lefty's a lot of house music, so check that out as well. Probably got some crossovers for sure. Of course, we had the first Kryptonite Rising Stars. We're going to have that every week, every fortnight. Next one's coming up next week. That's going to probably have a different title on every fortnight. So you got to check out some of the cool teams on PulseChain. It's going to be a really good space for that, and we're going to get the conversation, stepping up on that one. Crispy Band's Hex milestone coming up for the 100th show. I don't know if that was on last night, but it's definitely coming up either last night or today. Hexy Fire's Crispy Man's 100th show covering Hex on the deep dive data. So pretty exciting. Go check that out. Midgard does some upgrades as well. V8.1. Liberty Swap is ramping up the number of bridges being able to come over to PulseChain. Pretty awesome. And Nexian, of course, is bringing on a fundamental frontier DeFi tech on the PulseChain, particularly around glow farms and NF staking mechanism, which I think is going to cause quite the storm. So big shout out to Psycho out there, the founder. And, of course, that is looking pretty good with his dev team, I think, left as well. So not bad. So check it all out. Pretty awesome. In today's one, we've also got some of the big teams around on PulseChain. Nexian and Radon doing collaboration. So big shout out to that. Radon, pretty rising star there as well. Big shout out to Crypto Bro and the team. Nexian, of course, just really making from strength to strength, expecting big things from Nexian Glow. Of course, check all that stuff out. It's a pretty good write-up. We also got Emmett, of course, the big farm and Crypto Paradise. And don't know if you guys saw the God Mode candle. Definitely go check that out. Of course, Hog is ready to rise. This, I think, could become synonymous with PulseChain as the Pulse of the Fallen, because it's just got all these PulseChain influencers, got PulseChain community people, it's got celebrities in it. It's pretty exciting, and really loving where this is going. And we're expecting probably another 90 plus chapters for this as well. And the website just had some big new updates, so you got to check that out around character profiles, which is pretty awesome. We got MVS, of course, covering 414 as a beast. Of course, this was pretty exciting. And so if you haven't checked out 414, did a 200x at the beginning, and definitely they're looking forward to more things happening there. And if you're holding 414, you get a big airdrop for the next big move. So you've got to check out that as well. Looking pretty good. And then we got Nuke the Supply, which I think is one of the most innovative game fires on PulseChain. And that is pretty exciting. And this is over 200 days. There's 2 phases. And that really is war. And I really love, I'm going to have a little sneak peek on this little one, because it's got This Is War is the first part. And then, of course, 100 Days of Chaos, 100 Days of Glory. I love that. And, of course, the first 100 days, you got to arm, nuke, and transfer ICBMs to the weapons market via the NTS formula. So you can check it all out. And then, of course, the second 100 days, bid warheads into daily auction. So a pretty little teaser there into the tokenomics. And then own the battlefield, right? Own the battlefield. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love this stuff on PulseChain. You can't say we don't have the latest and greatest innovations for sure. So pretty awesome. And then, of course, yours truly, the Kryptonite show there with Superman is in the bottom there as well. So big shout out to MBS, our editor-in-chief, on the monster thread there. All right. And, of course, if you're a promo team, if you're a team, you wanted to get onto the monster thread, hit either MBS Crypto up or myself. And you can get on there for next week number 6. But week number 5 is hot. So definitely check that out at the moment. So pretty cool. And that is the link there as well. And don't forget to share it around. It's the perfect thread for introducing new people and for existing people that haven't been around too long as well, because they're going to get up to speed with everything that's happening on the PulseChain ecosystem. And it is going to grow as we rally. As the PulseChain prices rally, this is going to get a bigger and bigger audience. So definitely get out there. It has been just last week alone, it grew by 35% in audience of viewership. And I imagine this is going to go from strength to strength as we move forward week after week, especially when PulseChain starts to run. It's going to be pretty exciting. So Monster Thread is doing the monster thing and looking pretty good there. So that is pretty exciting. Check it out today. Now, the next thing I want to talk about briefly was the Sun Mini-Meal update that I did yesterday. And of course, as you guys know, Sun Mini-Meal could be the first $1 trillion corporate on PulseChain, first project. It will take several years to get that, maybe 3 to 5 years, probably on the 4 to 5 year mark, because they're looking to try and get 5 million holders of Soul token. Now, we're assuming all the things are true. All the things actually happen, right? So we obviously don't know all the future. Sometimes things don't happen quite the way that people expect and things like that. So remember, there's always risks to anything. But this is looking pretty bullish. That being said, the Achilles heel of Soul Sundermeal, particularly in the early days, I would say, is a lot of free coins essentially that people got. Well, they did. It's a lot of customers have got coins. We don't actually know too much about the breakdown of who's got coins, but probably within the first 500 holders, any of them could impact the chart, right? So just remember that it's probably the Achilles heel or the kryptonite, as I say, of Soul Sun Mini-Meal. So that's the challenge, and we've seen a little bit of that over the last couple of days. Particularly, we had a wallet number in the top 20. They had like 7 million coins. They sold down 1 million coins. So now down to 6 million. Then in the top 20. So you do get about that, and that can pull the price down a couple of cents, right? So just remember that is still out there. And also you've got the RSI and the TA that you've got to think about as well. But on the bullish note, we're going to get into what is on the upside. So that was I just want to get that out of the road because it's very important to point out any Achilles heel or any challenges or weaknesses. And of course, that's always true for a lot of tokens. Of course, a lot of people have a lot of holdings, but of course, we don't know which customers have got which of the executives have any coins, things like that. So there's definitely questions still out there, and you can only know so much out of all those. But definitely, we had a top 20 wallet sell some stuff yesterday, and also we had a smaller wallet as well that moved into some stuff. So we're going to talk about that. But let's get into the big bullish update about Sun Mini-Meal. And of course, the Sun AG Foundation donation pledge were 25 million euros to non-profit Soil Bank Foundation. So this looks like what's going to be called the Soil Bank Foundation. And apparently the patronage is already set up and the process is underway to fully establish this non-profit. And apparently this is going to do two things, at the very least. One is do the automation of the buy and burn, apparently. And number two is also take the 1.6 billion out of the 5 billion tokens that are in existence. So 1.6 is held by the Sun Mini-Meal, or Soil AG as we call it. And of course, that would get transferred in there as well. So that's a process. Be interesting to see how quickly that happens. Normally, I'm expecting within a couple of months, probably reasonable expectation. So we'll see how that goes. The next big thing, of course, and this is the bullish stuff, right? So we've talked about the challenges with the holders, right? And it's more challenging because it's early, right? We're early. That's the biggest thing as well. But on the bullish side, we've got tons of bullish news coming ahead of us and a lot of cash flow coming into the coin, right? So bullish for Soil, Sun Mini-Meal, and of course bullish for PulseChain. So this is the update here. New customers will be able to buy Soil token and buy Sun AG products with it soon. This is massive. I cannot understate this. So this is huge. So imagine if you're a customer. Remember last year they were about how much? About 70 million euros. So about 91, 93 million US dollars in sales. You take off about 7.5% for net sales, and they were going to use 20% of net sales. And so if you take 20% of that gets us down to about $17 million. So we know, assuming they've been earning at minimum the same amounts, that's $17 million. And of course, they're going to start pretty soon. So I'll get back to that. I don't want to front run stuff too much. But let's say $17 million for a full year. That's a minimum. And of course, if they've grown their business in the last 5.5 months, then that's even more, right? So which presumably they have, right? So because they've had some good successes. So we've got new customers who will be able to buy Soul token and buy Sun AG products with it soon, 20% cheaper, fueling massive demand to buy Soul token. Boom, boom, boom. And this is huge, right? Because you're going to have a lot of customers. They're going to have an easy dashboard. It's going to make it easy. They don't really have to know too much about crypto. They can just go on their dashboard with their Sun wallet, and then they can get points as well as reward point 2.0. And then basically, instead of using euros, they're going to go buy Soul tokens and at a 20% discount on the retail price of the Sun Mini Meal products, right? These little biscuits with all the nutrients and low calories. And so they'll be able to do that at 20% cheaper by buying Soul Token. So you're going to see the amount of customer buy demand go up dramatically. So really, really huge. And that is massive. And we're talking about on $70 million. I don't know how much percentage of those people are going to be doing that. Whether it's going to be 30%, 50%, 70%. It's going to be so easy to do it. It would make sense for people just to do it. Is it going to be like 90%? It just is. That's how easy they're making it for people to do. And so you could have 90% of those sales going on to buy Soul Token on the markets. In addition, that's in addition to the 20% of the buy and burn from the corporate net sales, which we talked about being, maybe about $17 million. Let's assume that goes down just a little bit on just using last year's data, not taking into account growth, right? So we're excluding growth out of it the last 5.5 months. That would be, maybe $15 million plus retail sales, of the sales of, maybe 70 million less the discounts, right? So let's get down maybe 55, 60 million, something like that, euros. Then it's massive, right? You just massively, like, almost tripled the amount of buying onto the protocol, not burning, but buying onto Soul Token. And so maybe you've just 4x the total amount of buying. And of course, a quarter of that being burning as well. So those are just some rough numbers. But yeah, man, that could be huge. So expect some of this in the week ahead. So we're expecting some of the rollout here. It had to be held back, right? Have been held back. We're expecting it to launch on the 2nd or 3rd of June when they were at the Austrian World Summit. But this looks like we could very well see some of this week with the dashboard. And so, it's looking pretty good for the, next week kind of thing. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Obviously, I'm not the one that triggers all that, but we're going to keep an eye on it for sure. All right. Very, very cool. Whoa. We've got a special alert here. Let's get here. We've got Fast Abdul in the house there. I'm here for the tech. Good to see you, Fast Abdul. Definitely hit the likes and post it out 100%. We've got Brian in the house. That's up, folks, Brian. And of course, Brian celebrates his 40th month. Can you believe it? 40 months of membership. Got to run, boss. Just stopped in for a like or two. A big shout out to that, Brian. And huge congratulations on 40 months of support of the Night Show. Yeah. All right. So big shout out there to Brian, a huge supporter. One of our first couple of supports is maybe top 3 supporters there. And of course, one of our community leaders. So big shout out for that, Brian. I appreciate that. All right, let's get into it. We're moving forward here. You rock, boss. I appreciate that, Brian. Big shout out. All right, so this is coming up here. So we've got expect some of this weekend. And that is a snapshot from the presentation that was given, I think, at the World Summit. And of course, you can see the 20% buy and burn and 20% discount there as well. Of course, I hope you guys know you're German, but that's basically the idea there, right? So that is 20% the buy and burn, 20% the discount on the prices. So pretty exciting there. Now, then we get into, so that is the customer demand. So customer demand is going to ramp up dramatically, I would argue. It's going to be because they're going to make it super easy, and they're going to obviously get a discount on your Sun Mini Meal, making it so much even more affordable, right? And the reason why they can do it is because a lot of the ingredients are so much, they're using so much less ingredients for the food as well. So it's a big deal there around the cost structure. Now, the buy and burn, of course, 20% buy and burn. And of course, this is really, really cool. This is new. I didn't know this before, but we found this out yesterday. They will be, Sun Mini Meal or Sun AG will be using accumulated net sales from the 1st of January 2025. And so that's about 5.4 months, right, so far. So that's how far they're going to be using net sales. And the minimum estimate that I have based on last year's data, this doesn't take into account sales growth over the last 5.4 months, right? So it's just using last year's data, will likely be much higher. So 8 million euros, which is probably about 9 million US dollars, and of course that's going to be let's take 7.5% off it, so just over 8 million US dollars of buying pressure for 5.4 months. And that's sort of sitting in the kitty then, right? So we could see, around about 8 million euros or $8 million net sales US sitting in the kitty there, ready to buy and burn. And we've only seen a small fraction of that so far. but likely much higher. Testing is underway at the moment. We've seen that testing, and I've shown you that. So let's pull that testing up here. And we can see, actually, this is the burns. Now, interesting enough, we didn't have one last night. We did not have one last night. I find that very interesting that we didn't have one last night with a buying and a burning. But we did have them in the days before on the 9th. You can see that we had a bit of buying, and I've talked about this. So we had buying in here. So we had, buying with DAI, and it was buying $7,000 worth of DAI. I was buying like 54 million SOAR tokens. And then they burned all the SOAR tokens. 161,000 SOAR tokens was burnt on the June the 8th, right? So very, very cool. But we didn't have anything on the 10th. We had another one on the 9th. Actually, we had two on the 9th. So we had the 8th burn, and then we had the big burn on the 9th of 133,000. But then on the 10th, we haven't had anything so far. So we'll see. That might be later today. We'll see whether we get something later today on the buy and burn there. It's very significant because it's about 21,000 or so. We'll check that out on the volumes later on, but pretty interesting there as well. We're going to come back to that later on. All right, let me just put that over there. So that is pretty cool. So yeah, and then of course, technically underway, we have some decent buying and burning each day. I just told you about that. And because remember, there's 5 billion tokens, 3.4 billion approximately in the people's hands, 1.6 billion of that in the corporate, which is going to be transferred to the Soil Bank apparently. So that's kind of cool. And of course, yeah, yesterday on the 9th, we had 133,000 SOL tokens burned, about $15,000 worth. And of course, they've been buying 15 to 20,000 from the looks at on their testing every day, right? Every day. But remember, they've probably got about $9 million worth sitting in the kitty, maybe 8 million. Let's say they got 8 million excluding growth, right? We don't know what the growth was. We've got estimated numbers in the strategy chat. So if you haven't joined the strategy club, you can join that today. But you have to join that to find out any estimates of that. But let's assume that this got last year's data, which was, as we said, 80 million euros. Then yeah, they're probably sitting on around about $8 million in the kitty for the buy and burn so far. And of course, they're adding more and more every month. So yeah, over 11.4 million out of 5 billion tokens have now been burned forever, and just in the testing phase. And the things are going to ramp up. So buy and burn is from the CEO Wolfgang, and this is from yesterday. The buy and burn is expected to increase over the weeks ahead, and very, very excited about that. And Wolfgang was very excited about that. So let's go with that. Now he did, this is new as well. So these are all new. So we found out net sales from 1st of January is been confirmed, and that was really cool. That means we've got a nice cool kitty. And we also found out this as well. After 100,000 SOL token holders buy and burn to be automated or earlier. So the buy and burns are manually done at the moment. And I did, say, I wonder how long it's going to take. So that's 100,000 SOL token holders there, buy and burn to be automated. So that's pretty exciting. That probably happened after the foundation set up and those mechanisms to keep at arm's length, right? To keep at arm's length. Now, that being said, I don't really know, the holders, the holder breakdowns. Obviously, customers have been getting it over the last 18 months to 2 years. They've been able to swap their reward points from reward 1.0 over into SOL tokens and that sort of thing. We did used to have the STLL, STL, the previous token. We've had two tokens, haven't we? The STL one and then the first SOL token. Then we've got this one here, which the Sun Minimal removed their control over, right? So this is the new tokens has been pretty much renounced by them in ownership. So it's operating independently, but we don't know who really holds a lot of those big token supply. Like I say, we had a top 20 wallet sell just 1 million out of their 7 million today, and that they were in the top 20 wallets. So that pulled the chart down by a couple of cents, right? 2 cents or something. So let's have a look here. What else have we got? Buy and burn. So that's exciting. So really bullish on the buy and burn. And we are expecting the buy and burn to increase in the weeks ahead. So that's very, very good, especially if you've got a wallet like a top 20 wallet selling. It's going to be pretty important to see that cash come in into the chart, right? So that's going to be pretty important. And then we may very well see this in the week ahead with this dashboard and Sun Wallet. We may see a ton of buying power, a ton. This could be massive. Now, I hope it's going to be on time, right? I don't know the time, so don't. I'm just saying this is what he said. It's going to be. We're going to see some of it in the weekend ahead. It was a little vague to exactly which part, but we're looking about the website 2.0. That's going to be a new website, which it's going to be called Dashboard Sun Wallet as well. So people will be able to buy this. If they want to buy it, it's probably got to be automatically routed over to PulseChain to buy the SOAR tokens, and then they can use the SOAR tokens them to buy the products. Massive. It really is a big deal. So that's kind of cool. And there's the buy and burn so far, 4.989. So pretty cool. It's about 11 million's been burned so far out of the 5 billion. Remember, 1.6 is held by the corporate, so it's only 3.4 billion. So it's already started to burn off that supply. Now, here is some pretty awesome news, and this is around a media shop. So they're a market leader in I think Germany, Austria, something like that, maybe even Europe, possibly. They've done a little test trial, and they did extremely well with that with Sun Mini promotions. And now they're going to be moving on to stage 2, which is like a full, instead of just testing, it's like a full rollout. And so media shop to ramp up Sun AG marketing soon. Now, we don't know the time of this. We're going to expect a press release. Could be within weeks, I guess. A lot of the stuff is, I think, lined up to be given out. But of course, classic in corporate affairs, you have delays, just like we get delays in software. You get delays as well. So far, we'll see though how good they can be with their timeframes. Media to ramp up Sun AG marketing soon, and of course, Wolfgang said he expected additional sales revenue of 100 million euros. So just remember, last year was 80 million euros. Another 100 million from this, and this could ramp up pretty quickly as you get out to these different channels here with MediaShop, apparently a market leader in marketing promotions in Europe there. I'm not sure the extent of that, though. I haven't done a due diligence on that. So, but apparently, based on what he said they're a market leader. So I'm just going to take his word for that at this stage. And we can see the people involved. So we've got Catherine Snyder. She's from this media shop. I think she's the owner or founder or something like that, managing director, and she's there. And then of course we've got Christian Jaeger. He's I think he apparently is a billionaire in Europe, and he was on the show 2 minutes for 2 million euros. It's a Shark Tank show, and of course Sun AG and Wolfgang and his wife were on that. I think at the beginning of this year, I think it was, or last year, I can't remember now the date, but they ended up breaking records and getting 4 million euros. And of course, Christian Jaeger has come behind them with their networks, and they're expanding the success they already had last year of 80 million euros. And you could imagine that ramping up pretty quickly, especially when they have a big media shop company like this. So this is pretty massive for PulseChain. So Christian Jaeger there, pretty exciting, and billionaire, man. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. We've got we've got the Rack and Rochelle's of the world, right? We've got the Hex Gold Whale, we've got Fire Whale, we've got Richard Hart, right? We've got these whales on PulseChain, but here we have indirectly, we've got essentially like Christian Jaeger helping PulseChain indirectly through Sun Mini, right? And of course Catherine Snyder as well. So these are the tentacles that PulseChain's starting to get into Europe. And people don't even know. Most PulseChain people are oblivious, right? They don't even know. So this is very cool. And we're just at the after the first 18 months to 2 years to establish Sun Mini in its place, we're just at that turning point. Now, of course, a caveat has to be for me is that I'm just going with the information that Wolfgang is talking about, right? So, and what we're saying, we see actions follow up words. That's what we're following here at the moment, right? So that is where we are at the moment. Then we got Wolfgang CEO. So we saw that picture there. Now, the other big thing that we've got coming up soon, this will be very soon because technically this is already set up. So we already know that from another employee from Sun Mini. All right. So not this from another employee. Now, this Floyn listing for Floyn Official will be coming up. So that's pretty exciting. Now, Floyn is looking to build an ecosystem in Europe. Now, I think they have a lot of high-value clients using it, but they're going to be having expected news on this very soon. So we're looking forward to that. That's kind of a cool thing. And it will also give us new gateways to new fiat off-ramps on the PulseChain. A lot of people will be oblivious to that unless you're using this protocol, basically app as well. Now, they're going to be growing, getting fully listing. So Floyn's got its own roadmap. They're going to be getting themselves listed with all the European laws and things like that. And they're going to be a full ecosystem, probably, full listing, stock market type of thing, really quite large. So that's kind of where they're heading at the moment. They've got their app out at the moment, and they do have their own token as well on that they're going to be measuring the ecosystem by. So that is pretty cool. And they currently got the minimum qualifications in Europe to do these crypto listings and things, and got their own app. So we're going to look to see how they grow as well, and that's certainly positive for Soar Token. It's a non-DeFi solution, but presumably that Floyn has added in PulseChain to their into their back-end support, if they're listing Saw token on it, they're going to be listing Saw token. They may very well end up listing potentially other Richard Hart tokens, right? Like Pulse and PulseX, and that could be a really, really big thing. And if they've got large investors in there, that could bring in new capital that way. Now, this was really interesting. Was the future growth possibilities? 60 million customers is one of the companies that they were talking to at the Austrian World Summit at their little rooftop retreat. And we're going to talk about that. So 60 million customers was one of the clients that we're talking about, because a lot of billionaires at this little greeny thing at the World Summit. 60 million customers at 3% would be 1.8 million customers. That potentially could be 2.4 billion euros, which is just crazy numbers, right? Crazy numbers. So very, very excited about this, but need to move strategically. They may even be buying, doing some expansion, possibly with a bakery buy, a commercial bakery, and of course also increasing production capacity. But really, it's the access to the customers that could be pretty huge. Now, this is a possibility. Whether it's a probability or actuality is a different thing, but this is going to be pretty exciting. Another opportunity that was there during their discussions with these billionaires and powerful people in Europe was another opportunity of 600,000 customers with access potentially to 820 million euro sales as well. And that person there is on the right for that second opportunity. And you can see on the left there, I believe, is the Sun AG scientist or something, basically the chemist there, or biologist, I guess a biologist there is on the left there, a food expert anyway, mixture of that. So that is just a photo of one of those, and just some of the growth possibilities. There are other things, of course, on the menu which we do not know, and of course Wolfgang is keeping that close to his chest and will release at the right time. So he said there'll be more press releases in the weeks and months ahead. And of course, Wolfgang, the CEO of Sun AG or Sun Minimal, says expect shockwaves in the weeks ahead. So really, even though we had some selling today from a top 20 wallet and another wallet, we things could get pretty exciting as the buy and burn starts to lift up, and we get big news as well around the company. Like I said, this is really the true first corporate that we have on PulseChain. Obviously, we've got big VCs like Rack and Michelle, but this is really the first true corporate, and they're doing a model on PulseChain which is pretty unique. And I think the only thing that even comes a little bit close to it is possibly the Luffy.com and their roadmap potential on Love.io. But we will see. Sun Minimal is well more advanced on things than that. So, and of course, we have all this big revenue potentially coming through. So potentially is sitting about $8 million in the kitty over there minimum. Could be much higher, could be 12 million, could be even more than that. That's sitting in the kitty there for the buy and burn a Saw token. And of course, we've also seen, Sun Minimal bring new on-ramps to PulseChain. Obviously, Ramp Now, and now Hex Scout is using that. And of course, you can contact Ramp Now and actually get the API and put it into your website or wherever else you got there. So if you've got a significant, website, definitely think about that. And of course, we've got Banxa also coming, which is pretty exciting as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of cool things in it. Potentially, it could be online this week. We'll see. Banxa obviously had a few little issues there referencing CoinGecko. So that's going to be something that we're going to find out about. Now, we got Hex Created in house there, Dr. Nefero. Is that his name? Is that his name? Yeah, okay, Dr. Nefero. We got Strategy Club. Definitely, if you want to find out more, you want to get the forward-looking profile for Sun Minimal, hit us up in the in the link there, Kryptonite link there as well. Pretty awesome Strategy Club, and I actually broke that down. So let's get to that before we move on. So we're starting the show a bit different today. But of course, I did promote the Strategy Club yesterday. I think it's really starting to mature now. And we've got exclusive content with the only large PulseChain daily show streamer. That's myself, of course, Superman, 8 p.m. Eastern. Superman lives the markets and knows the crypto teams. You guys know that because you're on here every day watching, and you know that I cover all that stuff. And so what's in the Strategy Club? Well, there's strategy chats. We have strategy chats there. We've got a top 10 high-performing index. So that's my top 10 list. We have obviously cover big 100 and 1000x protocols. Obviously, ones like Sun Minimal right at the top of the list there, but there are many others that potentially could do some very big X returns. And if you guys remember the X multiplier, if PulseChain does a 10x and these projects do a 10x against PulseChain, then that's 100x, right? That's 100x return. That's how you get to these numbers, right? But if you've got protocols like Sun Minimal, for example, which might do 1000x in price, and you have PulseChain do a 10x, then suddenly you're up into the big thousands of x's, right? So Just remember that. So, you got 10,000x right there. So this is kind of how we get to those numbers. And there are only so many projects that will do that. But we're definitely getting some pretty exciting things that are going to be doing pretty well on PulseChain. So definitely got to join up Strategy Club for that. Then, of course, we do daily intel drops as we get cool intel about things. We drop that into the strategy chat as well. Obviously, not just myself, but there are other people in the strategy club that also put in cool stuff into the strategy club as well. And then, of course, we've got monthly crypto reports, and I just did the latest report for June, I think like 2 days ago. So you can check that out as well. That is there, pretty comprehensive one as well. So check that out. That's what you get in there. Only $35 a month. So join up today, and we'll see you in Strategy Club. Pretty reasonable there. Very good return for investment, let's say. So join up today. Strategy Club, there is links right there. So thanks for that, Wookie. Also in the video description. All right, so I think that's it on our news. And of course, that's pinned to the top of my profile. Don't forget to give us a follow. I think we're slowly moving up. You guys know I'm building back, right? Because I lost my old account, which had, 6,000, 7,000 followers. And so rebuilding again. And probably be over 10,000 now. But hey, it's just the way it goes. We're up at 758, heading towards that first 1,000. That first 1,000 is going to be good. You're going to get there. Now, obviously, let's jump into the let's get into that. So we're going to get that. So S&P 500 ends slightly up. Traders watch US-China trade talks. So that's the thing that's back on the menu again. Obviously, top officials from both countries have kicked off discussions looking to get back on track with the preliminary trade agreement struck last month that had briefly cooled tensions between the world's largest economies. The market deems any dialogue between Beijing as progress, whether or not it leads to tangible results. The market is just going to take the administration's word for it, until the proven otherwise. So obviously, they're looking for some tangible, hard agreement there with documents signed. Now we know in the past that China's very good at trying to get out and misleading on deals. They are not a good partner. So even this deal, even when we get done, it's more about the news of the deal being done. We will see whether enforcement can be done on that, because they just say one thing and then they do another after they've signed it. Not a very good partner indeed. But we will see. That's going to be bullish news from the market anyway. So we got the Dow Jones is pretty flat at 42,761. S&P 500 is up 1/10 of a percent. 1/10 of a percent there, 5.5 points to 6,000. Nasdaq is up 1/3 of a percent. To 61 points to 19,591. Now, remember, what's going to drive the Nasdaq? Well, obviously, Trump getting in the tax bill, Trump getting all his trade deals done and settled, and Trump deregulating and increasing leverage. That is very important. The other thing that's going to run the markets is also Trump's looking at the assets of the United States. Not only is he doing an income play, but he's doing an asset play, and that is going to be really interesting to see that over the next couple of years play out. So that's going to be pretty cool. And he has to have the tax bill and a lot of the big trade deals, top 15 countries in particular, done by the 4th of July, and that will set us up for the golden age of America. And then we will see build, baby, build, and it's going to be pretty fun. Now, obviously, within his first 4 months, he got well over $13 trillion in investment, which is unbelievable numbers. Remember, the U.S. economy, national income is about 27 trillion, and of course, that is massive. So if you think about 13 trillion against that, is unbelievable numbers, and that's all going to go into a building. What's it building? Well, it's going to be going to build new shipbuilding, AI, car manufacturing, all sort of things going to be happening. And I think that number is just going to be dwarfed. That 13 trillion is going to be dwarfed. I think we could see tens and tens of trillions of dollars going into construction in the United States. I think we're going to see a boom like you can't even imagine. And that's all going to feed into the stock market valuations. We're going to be truly experiencing the golden age of America. And this is going to be a godsend if you're living in America, because, there's infrastructure, despite the infrastructure bill a couple of years ago, they spent about half of that money. And this is actually going to be spent. You're going to actually real tangible things. So you could see some pretty cool things in a lot of places. Now, I don't know how that's going to play out in blue cities. Because obviously there's a lot of resistance there, and they keep they almost keep their blue cities in the Stone Age. But certainly, if you're in a red state, you could see it absolutely flourish there. So I think it's going to be pretty amazing. But like I said, it's going to be everything from the coast shipbuilding and things like that to infrastructure to high tech. High tech is going to be a major theme, particularly around AI server plants. basically like Starship out there, one of those. And they're going to be building massive amount of compute power with AI chips. And so it's going to be pretty exciting to see all that sort of stuff. Robotics, of course, space. It's going to be huge. A lot of cool things like that. It's going to be really, really amazing in that vein. All right. What else there? We jumped on to the next one. All right, so that is the stock market today. Let's have a quick look at commodities quickly. We've got West Texas at $65, Brent oil at $67. And as you guys know, Trump's brought the oil prices down by between $15 and $20. So pretty powerful net. He's already hit that mark. And we're still waiting for the Federal Reserve to stop playing games, political games, and pull down the interest rates in the US from 4.5 down to maybe 3.5 or somewhere in that point of view. Maybe even cheaper than that. That brings us into crypto. Let's go to a bigger screen here. We've got the total market cap at the moment is 3.55 trillion. That's 3.55 trillion total market cap here, up 1.7%. This is based on CoinGecko's index of 17,390 coins. And of course, let's have a look at the majors here. We've got Bitcoin, $110,000, so back up dramatically, up a whopping 4.2%. I saw this start to move last night before I tuned in for the evening, and it did look very bullish last night. So I think we were sitting around about 106,000 or so, and now we're at 110,000. So very, very bullish stuff happening here. Ethereum at the moment is up 8.4%, almost 2x exactly in percentage terms to $2,662. XRP at number 3 is up 2.5%. $2.32. BNB at number 4 up 2.2%, $665. Solana up 5.6% at $160. Number 8 is Dogecoin, up 6.4% at 19.4 cents. Tron is up 1.8% at 29 cents to 29 cents. And Cardano or ADA there is up 6.5% to 70 cents. So those are our top 10. And the best performer really is Ethereum, up 8.4%. Very, very cool. Altcoin season, got to be getting closer and closer. So that's pretty exciting numbers. Now let's look at the top one over the last week. Well, that has been actually XRP. No, Tron actually. Tron up 7.1%. Then XRP are the best performers in the last top 10 in the last week. Let's have a look overall for the top 100. And we can see the SPX 6900 is still performing very well, up at 23.9% and up a whopping 13.9% in the last 24 hours. And remember, it was sitting at like number 90 yesterday, or no, 2 days actually ago. It was sitting at number 90. It's jumped to number 83 position on the top 100. So this is still on a big rally, is the old SPX 6900. So maybe something you want to check it out. Obviously, you don't want to buy the top, so check the RSI on that. Internet computer, ICP, is up 90.9%, and that is 9.8% in the last 24 hours. And of course, that has been, definitely was one of the best performers, particularly last year, for about 18 months at least, or something, if I remember rightly. It's definitely on a run as well. You can see in the chart on the right here, it is on a run. So internet computer. Quanta also, number 3, is up 15.4%. Sky, which was a name change, right? I think that was Maker, right? Maker. Maker there has been rebranded Sky. So if you haven't heard of that, you know now. So that was pretty cool. It's at number 4. So Maker there is at number 4. And then we got Injective there at number 5, up 10%. So, and then Aave is up 10% as well. So we've got 5 out of the top, we've got 6 actually out of the top 100 is up over 10% for this week. And those are the ones, if you've been in those, you'd have been doing pretty well. Now, top gainers at the moment, we've got Paycoin up 113%. Base Fartcoin is up 43%. And Myria, I guess it's called, is up 39%. Those are the top gainers there. And trending, Verseworld, SPX 6900, and Kita trending, but they're all pretty much down except for SPX. But Paycoin up 130%. Let's have a quick look at that. See if we can see. So max chart there, hardly done anything. Look at it, it's pretty much dead. And it's just been popped today. So, always good to have a quick look at it. Paycoin is a project that's focused on implementing blockchain into payment. It now has more than 10,000 merchants in Korea that accept Paycoin. So there we go. That is Paycoin. So having a little pop there. Maybe they had some news today that gave that little pop. Or maybe it was just the market, probably just the market there popping. But that was definitely Paycoin. What else we have there? Base Fartcoin, Myria. Let's have a quick look at Myria. Here. And we've got the max chart there. Just having a little pop recently. Been down quite low. Had been up quite high. 1.25 cents or so. Down pretty low at the moment. Down at 0.18 of a cent. What's this one? Mirror tokens can be traded on centralized crypto exchanges. So it doesn't say too much more about that, but it's ranked at number 723. So it's quite far down, In fact, what was the other one ranked? Paycoin. Let's see what Paycoin was ranked at. It's 368. So that's not so bad. Typically you want to look at the top 300 coins if you want a bit more stability. Even then you get a lot of volatility. But 368, not too bad on those ones. So that is our overall crypto market. But we're going to go to the crypto news. So let's get back into that. Let's go into that. Michael Saylor has been buying Bitcoin. He has Suri, and of course, pretty exciting. So 12 more Bitcoin buys. Remember, you got to have the context of Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor's context is, by 2045, he expects Bitcoin to be worth $13 million per Bitcoin. That's his base case, I think it was. $13 million for Bitcoin. So if he's buying Bitcoin around 100,000, that's just the beginning, right? That's just the beginning. So he's got quite a long-term view of this. I don't know whether he'll be alive at the time. He might be, but nevertheless, strategy will keep going, right? Assuming the world hasn't, fallen into some world war like we did in the 20th century. We've certainly got some foundations potentially for that, but hopefully Trump will prevent all that. We've got strategy has acquired 1,045 Bitcoin for $110 million at 105,000 per Bitcoin. Has achieved Bitcoin yield of 17% year to date. As of the 6th of, the 8th of June, we hodl 582,000 Bitcoin now. And of course, people were, last week was it the Bitcoin conference, talking about proof of Bitcoin. Remember that proof of Bitcoin? Acquired for $40 billion at $70,000 per Bitcoin. So, if he's bullish about, $30 million Bitcoin by 2045, this is cheap as chips, $70,000. He's laughing himself silly there. So pretty cool. 1.1 million views on that. Pretty neat. Keep buying, bro. We love you indeed. So there we go. Now you got to remember, he used to be against that. Remember, which is pretty crazy. He used to be against Bitcoin, and now he's full on there. Now we got our own Nick Hellman, who's from the Crypto Paradise team that's just come to PulseChain. He's on there too. Give him a little like. So not bad at all. So that is pretty much it on the news there. But let's go into PulseChain now that we're here. We've gone through the stock market, gone through the crypto news, got through Sun Mini Meal and the Monster Thread, week number 5. Looking pretty good. Now we're going to get into the PulseChain. Day 760 since PulseChain launched. And of course, PulseChain launched on the 13th of May, 2023. So 760 days later, here we are. Can you believe it? It's almost like we've been in a time machine. I feel like it every day. Every day I read it out, I feel like I've been in a time machine. One more day has gone past, which is literally we are in a time machine in a sense. All right, so every time you wake up, it's like the next day. It's like another day. Oh my God, how did that happen? It's like magic. All right, so we got Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0313. 2.3% on the increase there. We're still at 31% of mean sacrifice price. So it's been down here for like forever, right? It feels like that. And we will break. When we break, it's going to be glorious. It will be truly glorious when we do break from this. PulseX is quadruple 0268 at 3.5%. And we're sitting at 27% of the mean sacrifice price. So still super cheap as chips here. And the buy and burn is now reached 7.2%. Yeah, that's right, 7.2%. Pretty cool. We got 1,420.6 billion tokens have now been bought up and burned for PulseX, 7.2%. And ink token there is $1.48, up 4.5% almost. Remember, we've only got very low inflation on there, 2,600 ink token per day, 0.03 ink per second in the farms. And of course, the farms have all been thinned out by a couple $100 million, and so prices can move up and down very, very fast in association with Hart's law, and of course the AMM formula, particularly for V2s, at a square value, right? So X times Y equals K, the stuff, the drill. Hex there at the moment, 6200th of a penny, up 4.3%. And EHEX there at 2100th of a penny. Combined price of EX and PX is at 8300th of a penny. Still super cheap. And of course, catch me if you can. It's going to be like that one day. Catch me if you can, because at the moment you've been given it in a platter. So accumulating at these levels are very, very smart move. Once again, join Strategy Club. There we go. All right, that is pretty much it on the markets for PulseChain calls, as we call it. It's all the gas prices. 1.7 million beats at the moment, so very, very friendly. Only 2 cents for a PulseX swap. We got the validators. Let's see how they're going. 50,488, pretty stagnant the last couple of days, so staying at this level. And the bridge, let's have a look. The bridge. A drum roll, please. Where's the bridge? What happened? Bridge. All right, bridge. There are $92.1 million. Let's see where we were. I've got a snapshot from way back, right? Way back on the 3rd. So we're on the 10th now. So let's say the last week, a week ago. I got the numbers here. So let's get it. So we're at 92.466 a week ago. We're at 92.1 now. So there we go. And we're still down. I don't know what's that. $340,000, 340 from a week ago. So it's kind of where we are there. We got the DAI at the time. We had 21.9. We got 20.9. So we're down $1 million on a DAI in a week. So we're down $1 million. That's significant. That is material. We got 7,174 ETH back then. We got 6,984. So our ETH is down too. So that's significant as well. So we definitely lost DAI. We've lost ETH over the last week, and we're down about 190 ETH from a week ago. EHEX, obviously that's on the chain, but EHEX is obviously up. We're up 330, 430, maybe 450,000, let's say, on ETH in value. But of course, let's have a look at USDC. USDC was 16 million. This is the key thing, right? Because we've got Sun Mini Meal, right, and we've got the ramp now. Of course, that takes like euros, then it gets like USDC on Ethereum. It brings it over to PulseChain, and so we're getting more USDC coming to PulseChain. And so we're actually up maybe about 190,000 USDC in the last week, and that pretty much be driven by these. By the ramp now, pretty much probably there. So that's pretty cool. That's a new theme that we're seeing on PulseChain, and something new is always good, especially when it's stable coins. So that's pretty cool. We're going to probably see that ramp up. Now, of course, if people are got on Sun Minimal and they're quite large holders, and we've seen a couple of accounts be selling here and there, then if they swap back out into DAI, which is what we saw today, that can be on the exit. That's on the exit. So remember there are ebbs and flows in here, but the positive theme around the USDC is that we've got this ramp now, and it can be put onto different people's sites as well, not just Hexscout, which is doing a great job there. Coast was 10 million. It's still at 10 million. USDC was 5.185, and we're down about 44,000 on USDT. And Bitcoin there was 27 Bitcoin. We're actually down to 26, so we actually lost a Bitcoin. I don't know how much of a Bitcoin because it's just rounded, but about $50,000 worth. So it looks like it's just flipped slightly in the number there, but the dollars have gone up, right? So Bitcoin value's gone up, but our Bitcoin volume went down slightly, possibly up to 1 Bitcoin, maybe slightly over. I don't know. There's rounding. I think it's got rounding on numbers. That's kind of where we are there on the old bridge. So let's, so net outcome and value, US dollar value, is about $360,000, or was I say 450? Actually, about 450,000. But we did lose DAI and ETH, so that's not generally good. Not generally good. What else? We got 555 from GG and Hexkin. Big shout out to you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, if you guys haven't reposted the show out, don't forget to repost the show on X. Bam. Let's get into it. Let's smash that out. All right, so let's jump over to the PulseChain numbers. So we are doing 9.5 million volume. So still very low volume on PulseChain. Not the lowest. I think we got down really low when we were down in the doldrums there, around about $3 million, something like that. But we're at 9.5 million at the moment. We've got 201,000 transactions. Top moving coins on the DEX Screener default view is Staked ETH, up on 10%. Fresh Start Shower, been around for over a year as well. It's up 55%, so just out of the blue there. Let's have a quick look at that, see what's driving some of these coins here. Just pumped in the last 24 hours. How about that? Let's go to the hourly view on this. This is FSS, Fresh Start Shower. Yeah, someone came in and pumped that with 30,000 Gs. So 100,000 volume over 24K liquidity. That was pretty intentionally pumped there. And a goal to enjoy incredible wealth. There we go. So you can check that out. But that is moved on the move up. I'm not endorsing any of these particularly, of course. We're just commentating what is on the move at the moment. And the hourly there, we're seeing a big move in Staked ETH as well, on the move as well. So there we go. Some people putting some money in there. We've got Reserve Tay here. That has been up 25%. Been around for 5 months. So let's look at the Pulse. Pulse one is obviously linked in with Treasury Reserve and so on. This has been pumped the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours with a lot of money after having a bit of a sell-off too. but that is on the move there at the moment on the hour. Let's look at the daily. As the daily chart, so still got a pretty good aggressive uptrend as well, bouncing off 4 zeros 8500, now at 3 zeros 1100, so lost a zero too over the last 2 days. So there we go, all-time high, or not all-time high, but local high here on this uptrend is 0002 2100 on the old Fed day there. So there we go. What else there? We got Missile at the moment up 16%. One of the OG web chefs. We got Secret Conspiracy up almost 10%. ALGO there on the back of Hex up 7% there. Teddy Bear there from James Maria up 6.16% there. GoPulse back at 10 cents. Back at 10 cents, up 6%. Let's have a quick look at that. Obviously, they had their fundraise, didn't they? Controversial, of course, but they're up at 10 cents at the moment. Looks like they've bounced off what their local low here. This was about a week ago. They were down at 9 cents. So it's actually been holding up pretty well in that range for GoPulse there. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with that money, but that's where they are at that moment. Let us know in the chat if you know any intel on that. All right, so we got 9mm exchange, number 2 here on Deck Screener is at up 5.9%. So a quick look at 9mm. And we can see, yeah, just a little bounce at the moment, but I think it's still pretty much in the bottom ranges. Yeah, still in the bottom ranges here. Not the bottom. We were way down here at half a penny. It's back at 1.8 cents. So it's still at the bottom of the local range though for some time. So that's going to be at the moment. What else there? RSI oversold is at 5.5% up token there. I keep meaning to talk about Haunted's protocols. Like Validator X and UpX and stuff like that. But it's up 5% today. Let's have a quick look to see where that is lying actually on the chart. That's the chart on the daily. It should go to the weekly because it's been around for a while. And that is the weekly chart there. So actually doing pretty well, isn't it? It's got a lot higher lows. Not managing to get a higher high though, but looks like it will probably break up some stage. Sitting at 00020 100, up 5% today on the old UpX token. I keep meaning to talk about that. I never quite get around to it. And Sam token up 5%. Remember, problem OG Web Chef up 5%. Richard Hart token's pretty much in the mix here. And Hex, of course, up 4.4%. What else there? Delt token up 4%. SolidX up 4%. So we've got quite a few greens, but they're still not in the double digits. We haven't got a lot of double digits yet, but it is nice to have a green sort of opening to the week. And we may bode well for this week, especially if we get some trade deals, right? Now, SolidX, of course, we've been talking about that. That is pretty big. You saw that on the monster thread coming up with staking is expected for SolidX, as well as when X Game launches in the casinos, they're going to have all that revenue coming in to buy and burn SolidX. So it's going to have a double whammy on the old supply shock and also the buy and burning. So two supply shocks there and one big buying push there from the revenue could be pretty huge, particularly if X Game and the rest of the casino games go viral. This could be pretty huge, right? They got that 30% referral bonus in there as well, and a big marketing budget apparently coming as well. This will be the first main marketing budget, probably outside of Rack and Rochelle's efforts at the moment on PulseChain. So it could be pretty exciting. Could be massive, potentially massive, if it gets picked up. But like remember Friends? Was it Friends app on Base Chain? If it gets a viral like that's could be massive for the chain. What else we got here? We've got obviously, let's just scrolling back down here. We've got a lot of similar tokens here. Scrolling down here, 2%. We've got MoonX, APC, Cumin on there, 2%. X Game, of course. This one here is really undervalued at the moment, so you might want to check that one out. 1.9% at the moment. Obviously, once that launches, we could get news imminently on this very soon. We had SolidX putting out about that just not too long ago. Tropa there at 1.6%. PDC the Greys, so we had on the Prairie Banana, right? That was a great interview with him. And a big shout out to him for reposting that as well on X. That was pretty nice. 1.5%. Loan token at the moment up 1.5% there as well. And pump tires die at 1% there. Trump pump tires at 1.2% as well. Those are kind of the mix over 1%. And then we've got quite a few little ones here, 9-inch up 0.6%. Love.io up 0.6%. I'm not sure when Love.io is going to trigger. They basically indicated when they think the bull market's on. But the market, by the time you work out the bull market's on, it's already moved quite a bit. Let's see what they do in that space, whether they can execute their roadmap. I'm very, very keen to see the actions follow up of the ambition. Very, very excited. But they could potentially be a big player on the chain there. and has got pretty decent following. And yeah, let's see. Let's keep a lookout for that. It could be a nice little big value add, maybe one of the bigger protocols. So we shall see. All right, so that's kind of that on that. Now, I wanted to quickly go. We're going to go quickly see one of our big stars that's been in the top, of course, had a bit of a sell-off, and that is Soil Sun and Mini Mill, which we talked about at the beginning. We're going to do a bit of a breakdown here. You can see the price chart did get under pressure, and this was just one wallet pretty much. There were two main wallets, but one wallet there that sold us down, and that was in the top 200, right? We did have the RSI was pretty hot, right, on the daily, and of course we had that beautiful rally that ran up there. So we went all the way from, what do we get, 2.8 cents at the fork, and then we rallied all the way up here, pretty much on this first gain, pretty massive, to 14.45 cents. We had another go and topped out at, what did we top out at? 15.79 cents. And of course, that was just when the Austrian World Summit was on. That's that orange line. And we didn't get quite the news that we expected, right? Because Wolfgang pushed everything off. So he deferred everything. And I don't know whether it was just the way that the conference, sometimes conferences don't quite work out the way you think they're going to work out. And that may have been the case. So we didn't get this green arrow, right? We didn't get this green arrow because we didn't get the things that we expected, because the website didn't get updated, the dashboard didn't come out, the wallet didn't come out. But apparently we're expecting it in potentially this week. So we may get that this week. So that is kind of where we are. So if we do get it this week, are we going to get, are we going to get the arrow there? Let me just, I don't know where we're going here, but are we going to get, that there coming up, maybe this week? Let's do, what day we, 10th, 11th, 12th. Let's give it a couple of days. Let's go say Thursday, and we're going to get something like that, and let's make that green. Let's change a little bit of the, so we're going to get something like that this week, It's hard to say. We obviously, the RSI is still at 45. I mean, 30 is oversold, so still potentially it could go down to this drop here where we got down to 8.5. So it's definitely plausible. That's probably the more probable than not, probably 60-40. And then we get a bounce back depending on that big news, right, around the customers. Because if the customers do get that wallet and everything, that's going to drive more sales potentially. It could drive, more buying. It could drive some sales as well, because people look at the dashboard and go, man, especially if they're been on the previous, rewards program, they got all these Sun Mini Mill tokens. Go, oh man, look at how much wealth I've got now because I kept buying Mini Mill. So yeah, it could have a bit of that too. So we'll see how it plays out in the wash. But nevertheless, we're expecting some pretty major new buyers coming into the market. So we shall see where it lands on this price. Will it get down to retest this 8.4 cents again, and the RSI get down to 30? We shall see. Or will it continue to move up? Now, let's have a quick look at the buying. Like I said, we really didn't have any buying overnight on Sun Mini Mill and burning. The last one we had was 1:40 in the morning, my time, on the 9th. And of course, it's the 10th now. So we didn't get any last night that I saw. And you can see that here, nothing really happened with that. Now, in terms of tokens, you can see they're sitting on Sun Mini Mill. They got 52 million tokens in the wallet at the moment. And that's sitting at about $5.3 million. So definitely a big holder on the old Sun Mini Mill. Now, let's jump into some of the big moves. So we can actually filter, right? And we'll filter out for, $2.5 grand or higher, right? And we can see that we've got several wallets. We've got the big buying coming in from CC96. So this is the Ramp Now wallet, right? Ramp Now. So that's the buying one. That's the one with coming in. That's not the buy and burn, right? That's a different wallet. So that's coming in pretty nicely. And then, of course, what else we got here? We've got the selling, right? This is the big wallet sales. So this wallet here sold, this is 6 hours and 45 minutes ago. It sold a million tokens, basically 990,000 or so. It was sitting on 7 million, and it's got 6 million tokens left, and it's a top 20 wallet. So it's sitting on page 4. And that is wallet 7660. So, this is the Achilles heel. Obviously, this is true for all protocols that have a lot of tokens, but this is probably even more true because we're at the beginning, and a lot of people, who knows who's got these tokens. I don't know out of the Sun Mini Mill, like Wolfgang, what tokens he owns, all that sort of stuff. So that's not really known, as far as I know. If I do find out, I'll let you know. And then we had some other wallets selling in here as well. Over time, we got this BDD wallet sold 100,000 and so on. So there we go. Any wallet in the top 500 really can impact the chart. We've got 1 million liquidity. So any wallet in the top 500 could impact the chart, any particular time, particularly a top 20 wallet. They've still got 6 million tokens on that. So what did they switch in? Well, they switched into DAI. And this is why I said, we may have DAI go out. The others, we have USDC come in. We have DAI go out if these guys sell and route back through. The other one, of course, they also bought Richard Heart Core Coin. So they bought PulseX and Incentive token as well. That's that big wallet. That's the one here that sold at 100,000. So they had 7 million SOAR tokens. They rerouted 1 million of them into Richard Heart Coins. Now they're going to do that again. This is the question, right? So we shall see. We shall see. That's on the sell side. On the positive side, obviously we've got the Ramp Now wallet buying consistently. So let's have a quick look at that and check that out. And so we've got that buying consistently, and of course we also have potentially this wallet here, right? Was it wallet CD5? This is the buy and burn wallet for Sun Minimal, and potentially if we get this dashboard and Sun wallet up for all the clients, we could have tens of thousands of clients potentially buying SOAR token off the market. That could be dramatic. So we shall see. Potentially happening within this week ahead. Going to be pretty interesting. It's bullish for SOAR token, but it's also bullish for PulseChain with all that USDC coming onto the chain, and it could be quite significant. So we shall see. Proof is in the pudding, but so far, everything's kind of going as expected. Obviously, the holders' accounts, if you get a top 20 wallet selling, that's when you get a wick like this, right? You get a wick like that, which is 390K on that volume chart. Still sitting at 10 cents, just over 10 cents, 1 million liquidity. We'll see how that plays out as we move forward. All right, so that's kind of cool. Might get some more buy and burn tonight. Might get some retail sales later in the week. We shall see. Now, the other big news, of course, Midgard. I just wanted to post this out. Midgard here has got on their website. This is one of the new block explorers from Midgard, and of course, they got big respect to all the PulseChain and PulseX sacrifices. And you can post your wallet in here, and you can check out your sacrifice. So if you want to see what it's like worth now or whatever it's got, you can check that out on Midgard there. I thought that was pretty cool from Midgard. So I'm going to post that in the chat there as well. Don't forget to get in the chat there and to get involved. We're coming up to some cool news. We're going to be leaving PulseChain now. Many of you will be like, oh, I love PulseChain, We're going to be moving PulseChain now. We're going to move over to X1 chain. So we're jumping back to the first potential fork of Solana is X1 from Jack Levin. Some people love him, love the vampire. Some people don't want to be blood to be sucked out of the vampire. But anyway, now I think he's doing some cool things around the chain. I also think he's done lots of terrible things around tokenomics. But hey, look, if people are going to throw $150 million away, then that's just the way it goes, right? That's the way it goes. We got X1 Labs. He's opening up a new capital round to qualified private investors, pretty much. As X1 Labs nears the $3 million funding milestone, the company will begin strategically acquiring Bitcoin as a reserve asset, fortifying long-term growth and insulating its treasury from the inflationary impact of unsound monetary policy. And parallel revenue generated by X1 blockchain will serve as a foundation for X1 future ambition, a public listing on NASDAQ. So what's the lesson here? Take other people's money and buy Bitcoin with it. Hey, welcome to crypto. All right, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell, right? And we talked about Michael Saylor getting to 30 million by 2045. It's an simple play. So the chain's going to do itself. So what pumps the chain? It's not going to be Jack Levin. It's going to be everybody else, right? So that is just hilarious. But anyway, so like I say, people getting involved. Now I do see we had some pretty big people in his team there. The other irony, I just laugh at these, is that he talks about it being a community chain, like community project. But it's like, come on, guys, seriously. Shifting sands is not very good. I'm bullish about X1 because we know crypto, we know how crypto works, right? But the contradiction there, or the hilariousness there, is just funny. Anyway, so that's kind of where it is at the moment. And of course, he's added on the little sweetener, right? The little sweetener on the end. A future ambition, a public listing on NASDAQ. Now, ambition, we can say all sorts of things. And of course, we can tell you that X1's going to launch every 3 months, and it doesn't launch, right? So, take that with what you will. Now, we do know that X1 is actually getting pretty close, finally. So maybe there's irony in that as well. But once again, the chain's really going to be pumped, I guess, by the tokenomics and technology is going to be put in there, but really by the FOMO of the people, right? It's the mob, as we say, the mob of Rome. And so we should see some pretty stuff. Now, when's it going to be launching? A couple of months after this fundraise, we shall see. Technically, it's been ready for probably quite a long time. So we'll see where all that lands at the moment. So anyway, that was the drama there on the streets. We got Vault as well on Titanix. So we're back to we moved from like a Solana fork from X1 now over to Vault on Ethereum, and of course OmniChain going to base chain and other chains. We got a big news out there from Vault, which is the mad scientist crazy Stevie D. Vault was permanently burned its LPs, so big news there. Locking liquidity forever, the move hardwires trust into the protocol and delivers concrete benefits for both season holders and first-time entrants. 100% decentralized, no single point control, full community run and governed, safe haven for newcomers, rug pull proof, I should say. Open book on chain transparency, future proof foundation for sustained growth and permanent liquidity with built in its price. So, God mode keys are pretty much over from that point of view. Let's have a quick look at what happened to the market in response to that. Obviously, we've still got a Titanix still relatively discounted in the market, up 90% though today, which is positive. Given that ETH is what was it up 8%, something like that. So it's still making gains against ETH, which is kind of neat. But the big moves were in, I think Vault moved quite strong. Let me it's up 18% at the moment. Vaults and some of its derivatives, right? Some of its derivatives did pretty well. I think also next to derivative of that. I have to double check that though. No, it's on DragonX, sorry, that's a different one. Let me just have a look at the Vault one. Where's some big moves on it. I don't know whether they've been sold off since I looked at it, but looks like they have. Yeah, they're flattened out at the moment. But anyway, we've got a bit of a 18% move in Vaults. So we shall see where that all goes. So that is the big news. Vault has permanently burned its LP tokens, and that is where we are at the moment. Let's actually a quick look at the website and see what the tokenomics are. I'm doing this live, right? Live. We're doing it live. We're at 47.12% of the Vault has been bought and burned so far. And of course, the auctions there got 20,000 Vault in them. And what else are we going to say about that? Liquid Vault is 555 million, and burned is 494 million. The burn at the moment, let's see, it's got, let's see what it's got there. It's probably almost dead now, is it? Yeah, it's really, I think, rating for Bitcoin Genie, right? The new protocol to launch. So really, the LP burn, not such a big deal in that context, but less control. And of course, I think all roads lead to the new protocol, Bitcoin Genie, right? That is where's the website? It's gone down. That's not a good sign. They've got X count. Let's give a look at this beyond Vault, of course. Let me jump over the Vault. So yeah, I was already on Vault. But we're going to be interesting to see where that heads. Let's see what people think about that. I said big move. Absolute boss moves there. Epic says Eric. Yay says the Mo. But we'll actually see what it means. I think it really is tangible, depending on what happens to Bitcoin Genie. Bitcoin Genie is successful. It's going to play pretty well back in the Vault, I think. We shall see. And of course, any omni-chain strategy that Stevie D may have. But I really think he's going into buy-side tokenomics, which is what Bitcoin Genie is. And that's the excitement part there. The other big protocol that we're expecting is Taurus from Cryptographics. So that's going to be pretty cool. And we had Cryptographics on the show only a couple of weeks ago. Check out that with Taurus. This is going to be pretty exciting. And we know that Brandon in his development team is building this protocol. So mum's the word on that. But he was pretty excited about Taurus and giving really nice compliments to Cryptographics, saying how smart guy he was. And we definitely love what Cryptographics has done on this protocol. And it's going to be really interesting to see that play out in the future. So definitely one to watch is Taurus. Could actually jumpstart potentially the whole of Titanix again. Could be the protocol there if it takes like 10 trillion tokens off the market or more. It could be massive move for Titanix. Just what it needs to trigger off its next move. Now I wanted to bring up the chart. Have we got the chart here? Yeah, I do. Let's bring up the Titanix chart quickly. And let's see. So this is the last. Let's go to the daily. So it's still, pretty much off on the bottom, coming at 6 euros 12.60, is up slightly on US dollars at 6 euros 14.90. The recent high was this 3,000 mark. So it's still essentially down the bottom on this chart. You can see there. And let's go to the wrapped ETH, which is probably more important, right? The ratio to ETH. And let's go look at the daily chart there. So still pretty much on the bottom too. Is up off the bottom. We were down at 10 zeros 4900. Currently at 10 zeros 5500. So it's up, percentage terms, but still way down. Still way down. So what do you do? What do you learn? Buy low. Buy low. Now we are expecting not a new token from Jack Levin. Jack Sharp. Sorry, this time different founders. Too many J's in the founders. But we are expecting some pretty cool stuff. We covered it the other day, and that is that he's building a protocol. Let me pull that up actually. Jack Sharp. Let's pull that up, and just so we have the latest and greatest. It's better than me reading it than trying to paraphrase sometimes. I think it's a bit further down. A bit further down there. It's further down again, I think. We do think he's going to be doing some AI agent type of stuff, right? He's mentioned that before. And then he said this, let's just say it's not a token, these buildings, so that's good because obviously we've got to burn off Titan X and X28. It will use and burn X28. So X28 is the omni-chain version of Titan X, right? So you only get X28 by minting it with Titan X, essentially. You can buy it off the market, but efficiently. It's basically a swap. And that can go omni-chain through the layer 0 bridge, right? The layer 0 bridge. You'll be able to build businesses around it. It's a big build, not easy. And presumably it's going to have some sort of AI agent component to it. So, and he says it's going to be pretty advanced. So we're looking forward to it. Once I'm close to the finish line, I'll get more loud about it. So there we go. That was a big post there from Jake Sharp. So that is really around, the omni-chain strategy. But like I say, the other big one is what's happening with Bitcoin Genie from the mad scientist, Stevie D. And of course, with Taurus here, might be the first mover. There as well. So some actions to keep looking out for on the old Titan X, Ethereum, and base chain omni-chain strategy, all to potentially play out. Now, of course, the final remark is to be made, and that is that we know that Eric is up to a lot of cool stuff on Dragon. I said final mark, actually got a couple of marks. Eric's on Dragon X, so we're looking forward to a lot of cool stuff coming there. The ratio to Titan X is still 11.77, so it's still holding up pretty well, up 22% today. And the last big thing I'm going to talk about is that all the buy and burns are turned off. Titan X, Dragon X, Hyper, and Hydra all turned off. And so those are definitely bullish catalysts. The only thing with the buy and burn, it is massive, right? Massive, $12 million. Of buy and burn, 4,452 ETH, but it does have a little issue around bots, if I remember rightly. That's why V2 was started. So we'll see how that slow release works there on the V1. Nevertheless, it's still buy and burn power. And secondly, if we've got $12 million in ETH sitting in V1 for Titan X, and the supply is sitting at 10.25 million liquid supply, and that's after a little mini pump. That's kind of where the market's at. So it's actually got over 100% collateral sitting behind it at the moment on liquid, not on circulating supply, but on liquid supply there at the moment. So that is something to look out for on the old Titan X. Not bad. Diamond Hands in the house there. Hey, good to see you, Diamond Hands. Big shout out to you. Hope you're doing well. And it is Tuesday here in New Zealand. It's Monday in North America, I guess. And we're having a good time. So that is kind of a wrap up of where we are. We're up to an hour and 18 minutes on the live show. Can you believe it? So if you guys haven't, if you enjoyed that, definitely smash the like, definitely hit the follow button. And of course, we'll be on again tomorrow, and we'll watch some of the things that we've been looking at play out. Will PulseChain build some momentum this week? Will we get some big trade deal announcements this week, fueling the markets? And will we get more progress on the tax bill, I guess, through the Senate and the House? And will we get some action from Sun Mini, or potentially a juggernaut on PulseChain? And it will depend on, of course, those sellers with all those tokens. But we will see. We'll see where it all nets out in the end during this week. It's a journey, right? It's a journey. And it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so if you guys haven't joined Strategy Club, definitely join Strategy Club. The link's in the video description, and you can also use Wookie's link there. Big shout out to Wookie and the crew. Big shout out to Brian, of course. 40 months for Brian. I mean, that's amazing support there. Appreciate that, Brian. And, of course, Hexcavate as well, doing a great job in the chat there. And many others. Craig Pitt as well. Fast Abdul in the house. Hedgehog. We've got a few in the chat there. DJ and Hexkin. And Diamond Hands as well. So big shout out to everybody in the chat there. Brave for getting in the chat, they say. Nah, it's a friendly chat. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it today. I'll catch you on the next show tomorrow. Check out the monster thread. Yeah, the Monster Thread, Monster Week number 5. You got to get out there, right? Check that out. There's the link there. Monster Thread, week number 5. Give it a good read. It's got some awesome stuff that will give you the perfect catch up. It's like you haven't missed anything. If you were busy last week and you wanted to find out everything that went on, really, it is a pretty comprehensive update on that. So definitely check that out today, Monster Thread, and share it around. Help onboard new people. We've got a new publication. It's currently in the works. It's coming out soon. We're going to have a second major publication coming, and it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm not exactly sure when it will be out. Maybe within 2 weeks, possibly. We will see. We'll see. Hopefully, we can get that time frame up. And we've got another big, I don't know, what do we call it? Initiative product, something like that, whatever. It's coming as well. And that might be within a week away, actually. That might even come out earlier. It's going to be pretty awesome. And then there's more on the roadmap. We're not slowing down. Now, if you're a promotion team out there and you want to help with any promotions, hit us up. We're the first professional promotions team on PulseChain. And, of course, you can hit MVS Crypto, our promotional lead, and, of course, editor of the Monster Thread, or myself, of course, the host of the Crypto Night Show. You can hit us up there if you want to get some support there on the promotions as well. First professional promotions service on PulseChain. Represent your boy. All right, hope you guys enjoy it. And, of course, daily streams. Daily streams, I'm just loving it. And of course, I've got to get off the show now because I could talk. I was going to start talking about the rest of crypto, but hey, we've got to stop today. Tomorrow's another day. I'll catch you all there. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the follow button, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care and bye for now. In fact, we're going to go to one more place this, and we're going to play out some FOMO on the way out. Why not? You got to end the show with some FOMO. Enjoy, guys, and catch you on the next one.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing. Each cycle is not to do with a halving cycle, nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase 1 of the banana zone, banana number 1. The corrective zone, banana number 2 comes. Another correction, banana number 3. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020, 2021. Off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats. Don't fuck this up. Don't lose control of your tokens. Don't use leverage. Don't get your wallet hacked. Just sit with it. Be careful. Don't get FOMO. Do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of correction zone. That's going to be harder, because the next one that happens, we'll have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over, and everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment, because it's easier to get them, because it takes less economic energy, because there's less of it for sale.